Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to Homeridge Studio. I wanted to pop on here real quick today to say thank you. Thank you because my goal of 2,500 subscribers was exceeded. I'm at 2,600 and still growing, and it's all because of you. And in appreciation of that, I'm going to give not one, but two giveaways. So they're both going to consist of the same thing. Couple videos ago, I did a craft room clean out. It was a crazy craft room clean out, or craft rooms. Anyway, I found duplicates, even more than duplicates, of tons and tons of stuff. Not junk, good stuff. So I'm going to share with you some of my stuff that I have duplicates of. And so each box is going to have a bunch of stuff like that in. Also, on top of that, I am going to give you a $25 Amazon gift card to the lucky winners. So there'll be two winners, and one box will have stuff in it from my craft room clean out and an Amazon gift card for 25 bucks, and the other one will be the same thing. Anyway, I will post that in my next video because I don't have all the details of that yet, so I'm working on that, so that will be in my next video. And I will also post it in my community tab. So with all that being said, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Love you. And speaking of love, my next video is Valentine's Day stuff again, more crafts. Beautiful, fun, and easy crafts. I have my pink sweater on with the hearts on it, my funky little heart earrings for this video. And I hope you enjoy it. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. Okay, here we go. Number one. These are a pair of candles, really easy to make, very inexpensive. And if you do make these, here's what you'll need. Some kind of music. Now, I thrifted this from my favorite local thrift store. It was $1.99. I think that was a steal. And this just happened to be wedding songs, so that was even more of a plus. But any kind of sheet music, you can probably print something off the computer, would do. I have these two candles. They are from the Dollar Tree. I think they were like $1.25. They're the thinner ones. They don't light really well, but they turned out beautiful. You can thrift them. I have thrifted these much nicer ones for 99 cents or to $1.99 each. I have, here's some more of my stash, you guys. A ton of these little flowers. And I have some lace ribbon from the Dollar Tree, the thicker and the thinner stuff, some jute. I don't use those bows. And then I have a heart template here. This is just a foam template. I have some Mod Podge. And I also have some Distress Oxide in the color Vintage Photo. Yes, I've been using that one. I've been crushing on Vintage Photo a lot lately. So anyway, I just took this heart and I put it on the paper. I just tore a piece out, one of the songs. I don't even know what song it was. I just wanted the music in there. And I'm just going to outline two hearts. I don't use two of them. I make two of them because I do two different things and I wasn't sure which one I was going to choose, but you'll see what I do here. So yeah, I went to cut it and then I realized I have glue from my glue gun all over my scissors. Oops. Anyway, so I just traced it and then I'm just cutting out the heart shape. I have two of them, cutting both of those out. Now I'm going to fold this in half and I'm just going to make half of a heart on one side. And you're not even going to see this. So when I cut that out, it will be the same on the other side, and so we'll have a heart in the middle of it. And so now we have a heart, but we also have this heart. We have one that has a hole in it, and then one that's solid for another project. Actually, I do use it on this one. And I did two of them because I am actually going to rip the center out and then rip around the outside of it. So I wasn't sure which one I wanted to use. And this is kind of thin, so I wasn't sure if me tearing it was going to look good or not. But it did look good. I just chose what worked for me. And so now for another project, I have an extra heart. So I have this water pen. I think I got mine from Ross, but I know they have them at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going around the edges. A paintbrush, a wet paintbrush, works just fine. And now because that's wet, I'm able to tear it around the sides here. It was a little bit thicker, this paper, than just regular paper, so I had to get it extra wet. And if you get too much water on it, it's no big deal. It's just going to dry. Take your heat tool or your blow dryer, and it dries quickly, because I've done that before. Anyway, I'm just playing around with it, seeing which one I like better and how I'm going to do this. And that's kind of what I do when I craft. I just kind of play around with it and see what works for me. And because this was so inexpensive, it didn't matter if I made two, but I kept them there in my stash for another day, another project. And now I have this, the oxide in, said vintage photo, and I have a very heavy hand here. So I don't know, I made it work, but I think it was a little bit too dark. But what I had to do is make the edges even darker and then go through the middle and then blend it. But at the end, it turned out really beautiful. I'm really happy the way this turned out. And so I did that to the solid heart as well. And now I'm just putting Mod Podge on the back of both of these pieces. And then I'm going to put it on the candle. Now make sure that the oxide distressing paint is dry, because in this case it was fine if it came out onto the candle because it kind of blended right in. But if you had paint or something on that and it wasn't dry, it would pull right onto the candle. I hope that makes sense. And so yeah, I just Mod Podged it onto the candle, and now I'm going to do the bigger heart that has the hole in it. And I did not use the ripped piece because it just looked wonky to me. I think if the candle were a little bit bigger, you know, these are the more narrow ones from the Dollar Tree. I think if the candle were bigger, it would look better, but these were just narrow, and I wanted to make sure that we saw the heart on it. And so as you saw, I just Mod Podged that right on there as well. And then I took my blow dryer very carefully. Make sure you don't heat up the battery that's inside it. Very important. I put my blow dryer on it, and it kind of melted the wax a little bit. So I was able to press that right into the wax. It didn't melt it a lot. You don't want to just blast it on there to melt the candle. But yeah, it worked really well. And here's where we embellish it. I just took the ribbon here. I was going to use the thicker ribbon, but it was too thick and it kind of hid the heart. So I have the thicker ribbon here, and of course that's the lace from the Dollar Tree. I love that. I use that a lot. And I started in the back, and I'm just going to glue it all the way around. Just one strip. So I started in the back because obviously the crease is going to be in the back and you won't see it. And then I did the same thing to this one as well. And now I have some jute twine, and I cut a nice big long piece off, and I evened it out, and I'm just going to put, now this is going to start in the front. I'm just hot gluing a little teeny dab on the back to hold that in place. The two pieces are going to be wrapped around the front, so I can tie a bow. You'll see what I'm doing here in a second. And so here I just tie a double knot, and then I tie it into just a regular shoelace bow. And here's one of those little flowers. They're the little flowers from the Dollar Tree that have, they're different, they come in different colors, but they have the sparkles on the outside and the green leaves. I haven't seen those in a couple years, or maybe in a year, but they also have those foam flowers at the Dollar Tree. and I have a ton of those. And so you can put a foam one on there with some green leaves behind it. You can put glitter on the foam if you don't have these kind. You could put any color on here, and you can distress it as well. But I just love this one, and it added a little sparkle, and I think this turned out so beautiful. I'm so happy. I wasn't sure, but because they're Dollar Tree candles, but yeah. Okay, number 2. And this is a wall hanger. And I just have this, it's from the Dollar Tree. I think it came in a pack of 4. Not a pack, it was like a design. One said love, one said whatever, kisses on it or whatever. But anyway, I pulled all that apart, so I have that left over, and I have the wooden frame and the wooden heart from the Dollar Tree. I have Waverly chalk paint in the color Ballet, Slipper, and Mineral, and I have some Mod Podge, and I also have some not construction paper, scrapbook paper. I pulled a bunch of different colors out because I wasn't sure what I was going to use, but at the end, this is the one that I'm going to choose. You'll see it in a second. So I took some Mod Podge and I put it all around the wood heart here, and making sure to get the ends really well because we're going to iron it on. And while that was drying, because this has to be dry in order to use the technique, while that was drying, I took my frame here and I took my mineral chalk paint. I love blending pink and gray, or pink and like that beigey gray, the mineral color. I think they look so good together. So I took a brush and I just brushed on 2 coats, 2 light coats, because when you get it too heavy, especially in these like more intricate pieces, then it just gets goopy. The paint gets goopy in between the little spaces there. Now while that's drying, I took my Ballet Slipper and I'm just painting the back of this, and I'm painting the sides because the front has glue on it, and there was a letter or a word or something on I pulled off. I don't know, it was in my stash. And so I'm just taking my blow dryer. I'm going to dry it all really good. And now I have my paper. I love this. I don't know if it's from a book or like a scrapbook, or if I got it at Hobby Lobby. I don't remember, I'm sorry, but there's some really beautiful paper out there. So anyway, I use this process a lot. The Mod Podge is dry, you put your paper, your tissue paper, napkin, whatever you're using, down on the paper, and then you take parchment paper and put it on top. And what that does is it heats it up, it reactivates the Mod Podge, and the paper, tissue paper, whatever you're using, presses right into it, and the parchment paper protects the iron and the paper as well. So I know that I use this a lot, but for the newbies who hasn't seen this, this is an amazing technique. And as you saw, I just cut all the excess off, and now what is a project without Distress Oxide in the color Vintage Photo? That's the color I'll be using throughout this whole video. And again, with a heavy hand. And if you do this on paper, unless you put Mod Podge on it or a sealer or something on it, you are not going to be able to wipe it off. It does not come off. It soaks right into the paper immediately. So start out with a light hand, unlike me. It worked in this one because I liked it a lot, and then I just kind of smeared it in and dragged it in. And this is a blending brush that I'm using. I got mine from Michael's. You can get them on Amazon or Michael's, or probably Hobby Lobby, any craft store. So I distressed the heart, and I even went across the middle of it. Then I distressed the little pink heart, and then the frame as well. And now I have wood glue, and I'm going to smear it all over this with my finger, because why not? Probably because I didn't have a brush, and I thought, oh well, I already got a little bit of glue on my fingers, and I had paint on my fingers, and I'm like, all right, whatever. Now I have just like a little skewer. I keep one in my thing, in my cart that I showed you in a couple videos ago. And I'll show you again someday, probably very soon, my little cart, my little craft cart that all my important things are in. Anyway, I had a little skewer in there, and what I'm doing is I'm just poking out all that wood glue that seeped through there. It'll dry clear, but I just didn't want extra. Like here, too much glue, yeah. So I put that on, and I put a little bit of hot glue where the wood glue isn't for the quick hold, and the wood glue for the permanent hold. And so that's how I put it all together. And then I have these little heart toothpick things. And I have there are 3 different colors. Red, I don't think there's not white. So there's red, the gold, and the pink. So I took the gold, and some of those picks come out of the heart, and some of them you can like pull right out, and some of them you can't, and they're glued in there really well. So I had to sand it down, and I'm just going to put 1 on each corner. And then I took the hanger off of the heart in the beginning, and I'm just going to put it right back on. I thought I liked the jute because I liked how it just matched the whole thing. And I have these arrows. They're wooden, and they are from the Dollar Tree. They are sticky already on the back. There was a lot of tape on it, so I had to cut it off. Then I'm just going to place one of those on the heart. I didn't need to glue it on any other way because it stuck really well. And then I thought it didn't really match, so I took my Distress Oxide, and I'm just coloring that in real quick. And this is what it looks like. Okay, and number 3, last but not least. So this is a mason jar. It could be a tier tray piece, a shelf sitter. You could put a hanger on it. It's kind of small, but this is what I have for it. I have that little wood mason jar from the Dollar Tree, that little love thing from the Dollar Tree, some scrapbook paper. I think that was from Hobby Lobby. It was an individual sheet. I have some ribbon, some pit berries, and I also have the burlap piece there. Okay, now here is a different way. Instead of tracing it out and cutting it out, putting the paper on, and then trimming it again, here's an easier way. I'm not even going to trace anything. I'm just going to put that right on there, and I'm going to cut out a square. And now I have some Mod Podge, and I'm going to put the Mod Podge all over the front of this, the top, everywhere, and getting the sides again really well. And again, when that's dry, I put the paper on it, and then the parchment paper on that. And I have my little heat press here that my daughter bought me a couple years ago. They sell them at Walmart, Amazon. You can probably get them at any craft store. Mine was like $10 or something, and I love it. I use it a lot. And I just press down the sides really well. And then I cut off the extra, and then now I'm sanding it. And I have this little scrap piece of burlap. I'm just cutting a little piece out. This is going to be the top or the lid. And then I'm just going to put some Mod Podge just on the top there where I'm going to put the burlap. I left that little piece in there. You can see how I fuss around with this stuff. Sometimes I stop the camera for a little bit. I know what I want to make, but I just get really fussy with it. I'm a perfectionist sometimes, but crafting has been teaching me not to be a perfectionist. Sometimes the best crafts or the best pictures or whatever it is are truly mistakes, and you would never know it. So I just Mod Podged it on the front. I hot glued it on the back and then trimmed it off. Now I'm cleaning up the edges by putting a bunch of jute twine around there. I'm just going to wrap it around and around and around. I don't know how many times, 5, 6, 7 times. And then I'm going to end it in the back and then just glue it down. And I have that little vacuum thing there that came from Amazon. That's a nice little tool as well. That cleans up sawdust and glitter, and it works like a charm. I love that thing. And I'm not an Amazon affiliate or anything, so I really don't have the links to put that in there. I've had it for a couple years, so I don't know if they have the same one. But if you just glue craft vacuum, something like that, it will come up on Amazon. And I think that was like $10, and it's a chargeable piece too, so really nice. Anyway, now I have this thicker ribbon from the Dollar Tree. It's the lacy, cream color lacy stuff. I love this. And I just wrapped it around the middle, and now I have this pink lacy ribbon. Nope, I didn't do that just yet. I have this pink polka dot ribbon, so it's pink. It's wired, and it has little teeny tiny white polka dots in it, and I love it. I think I got it from Hobby Lobby, and I really wanted to use it, but I wanted to put it on top of the lace ribbon, but it was the same size, so it didn't work, obviously. And I really wanted to use this, so I found a way. I'm just going to put it up on top like it's the lid of the jar. Why? I don't know. It just suited my fancy, and I wanted to use it, so I did. I went with it. And now I'm going to take this pink ribbon. It's a lacy ribbon from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to wrap it around the middle of the cream colored lace ribbon. And pink, by the way, is my favorite color. So I have my pink sweater on today, and I'm using a lot of pinks in this video. And then that little piece comes in a pack from the Dollar Tree of, I think there's a bunch of different words like love and kiss and I don't know, XOXO I think or something. I've had that in my stash as well. And I just pop that on in the middle, and then I took some jute and I wrapped it around my hand several times, like 7 times, 8 times, something like that. And then I tied it off in the middle, just put a double knot in there and trimmed off the edges. Fluffed it out a little bit, and now I'm just going to pop it right on the top there. And of course, we can't have a bow, especially a jute bow, without a wooden button. And now I'm just taking my vintage photo, distressing, and I am just distressing the whole thing, including the ribbon and the little button and the little love word all around the edges, dragging it kind of through the middle. And of course I have a heavy hand. I usually do when I distress. It's just what I do. Sometimes it's an accident, but most of the time I do it on purpose. I just love the distress. But you do you. If you like a little bit or none at all, then don't use it. But I love it. I love to make things look old and dirty and worn and used, and it just gives me like warm, fuzzy vibes. And so I have these pink pit berries, and they are from the Dollar Tree. I think they come out at Easter, probably Valentine's Day too, I would imagine. And I'm just taking a pencil, I wrapped it around because they're wired. And then they come out like little curly, and then you kind of pull them and you can bend them, and I just glued them on there, and this is what this piece looks like. Okay, and here is the whole shebang. All 3 pieces that I made today, and this is how I styled them all together. And here are some other pieces that I've made previously this year in the last month. And that's all I have for you today. So remember to like, subscribe, share, hype, all that good stuff. And like I always say, I'll be back real soon. And until then, have a blessed week. Bye.